crazy how shallow the water is here. It's only about a foot deep, and yet I'm about 100 metres off the beach. It's really nice to be back out in the water, I gotta say. You have 2 or 3 weeks off the water, you start to get a hankering for it again. Middle of Easter in Queensland, so it's crazy in most of the camping areas, so I've snuck down to a little corner here in the bay, away from the maddening crowds, and we'll have a couple of nights out here on an estuary, some bay I should say, see if we can catch ourselves some dinner and some lunch. I've seen a lot of stingrays already, a few other little fish getting around, so there are fish in here, so fingers crossed for a great trip. Well, this is a little beach we've ended up at. Looks pretty good. Got a bit of a bow peep up through the trees here. You can see there's a bit of a flat spot at the back. What I'm sort of looking for here is just something a little bit sheltered, so we're not getting blown out by the wind the entire time. And this looks pretty damn good, I have to say. Bit of firewood sitting around, nice flat areas to set a tent. Let's have a look. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I reckon we can probably get the tent maybe here somewhere. Get the tarp set up between a couple of the trees. Just give us a bit of shade, a bit of protection if it does have a shower or two. It's supposed to be 30% chance of showers today, but yeah, I don't like my chance of getting much rain, so that's okay. Well, that's camp set up. I haven't bothered putting the tarp up here. It's a little bit difficult with all the branches and so forth, so I'm thinking at this point in time there's only a 20% chance of rain over the next couple of days, so I probably won't bother with the tarp. The tent's worked out beautifully in there, almost camouflaged against the she oaks in the background, which is lovely. So I'm just going to wait for this tide to come back in, and might just get a little twig stove going here and make up some noodles for lunch, and sit back and relax in the camp. So I just used some of the needles and the she oaks here. I'm not sure if these guys will light up or not. Got a few twigs bits inside here, so let's just see how these things go. Not sure. So good so far. Well, it's burning outside the stove. Always interesting to hear what people call these in different countries. In Australia they're just 2-minute noodles, ramen in Asia and so forth. These ones are a bit of a fusion, mee goreng, soya mild spice. So we'll give these a blast and see how they go. Should be nice for lunch. Wow, that's actually really good. Just a thing on a blustery old cloudy afternoon. Up past 1, the clouds have come over, we might get a spot of rain. Anyway, just going to wolf these noodles down and go for a walk out and see if we can see any lives from the flathead and other fish and so forth. I saw a few from the stingrays coming in. There was even a shovel-nosed shark, little baby one, about yay long, took off as well. So we'll get these down and we'll grab the GoPro and we'll go for a walk and see what we can find. What you can see here is the roots of a mangrove tree. It's only a young one. Quite a network of roots going right in deep into the sand. And the mud underneath, get all the nutrients out. You can see a whole lot of them here, and you can see all the seed pods blowing up here as well. And some of which have already taken in the sand, which is awesome. So once again, very healthy ecosystem, which I'm very, very happy about. So I'm seeing two things as I'm going across here. Little crabs, but also little toadfish. I'll leave him alone. So this is a classic live from a stingray. You can see the outline of the stingray here. But even see the little tail going out there where he's been sitting. Bit of fluffed sand around the outside after he took off. That's literally a stingray lie. My foot to give you an idea of size. Quite a good sized stingray. Well, it's a bit of a blown out afternoon. Wind's just starting to drop off now. There's a couple of big rain clouds just run over. Just the slightest amount of moisture in the air now coming down. Little bit of drizzle, I suppose you'd call it, very, very light. Tide's well and truly out, so there's no paddling to be done unless I want to drag the canoe about half a kilometre out into the bay itself. So not much we can do at the moment. It's 10 to 3 now, so I'll give it another hour. Hopefully that's when the tide will start to turn and come back in. And as always, I'll have the one beer and maybe a little bit of cheese or something to eat. And we'll head out then and see what we can rustle up for dinner. Cheers, guys. Just on 4 o'clock, looks like the tide's just starting to turn maybe now. And unfortunately, it gets dark around 6:30, so we've only really got a couple of hours to get some tide in, to get out and do some fishing. So we'll see how that works out for us. But if not, it'll be first thing tomorrow morning, some fish for breakfast. Cold beer on a warm afternoon, autumn, absolute magic. The tide's still out and it's a long way from being anywhere near being able to put the canoe in, unfortunately, so we will get this fork on. With a bit of salad, and then we might get a fire going. We'll see how this wind goes. The winds just keep picking up and dropping off and picking up and dropping off, so we'll see how that goes. That's whether or not whether we have a fire or not. At the moment it's probably a bit too windy for a fire. Fire will just the fire will just unfortunately just blow straight into my face because of the wind direction. So anyway, that's all good. Wait for this fire to die down here on the little twig stove and cook this pork chop up. Have it with a bit of salad, and then we'll just see how we get on. The wind kind of picks up, it drops off, it picks up, it drops off, so we'll just have to see what the weather does. Hopefully it'll just cool down a bit and the wind will drop off and I can have a nice little fire here and a cup of tea. But we'll just have to see how we get on with that. Well, the tide's just coming in. Nowhere near high tide, of course. High tide comes right up into here. So we're a long way from high tide, that's for sure. Well, isn't it always the way? I just literally lit the fire up and it's now pouring rain. Sitting there getting wet. So it looks like we're going to have to call it a night, duck into the tent and dry myself off and get out of this rain. I was hoping it might just sweep over, but literally as soon as I got the fire going, down it came. So sitting here in the smoke and the rain, getting wet and burnt out. So anyway, I'll call it a night. Catch you guys in the morning. Last hurrah. Getting into the tent for the night. Well, it's a very wet and cool morning this morning. We got lots of rain overnight last night. Everything's absolutely soaked. I've got a wet ass sitting in this canoe. That's alright. The tide's only just in. It's on the way out already, unfortunately. So it's going to zack down to a deeper spot here and see if we can rustle up some breakfast slash dinner slash lunch. And we'll see how we get on. You see some little bait fish, just small tiny ones being chased up to the surface here, so I'm just trying to see if there's anything underneath them that's worth catching. Talking to a couple of local blokes off the beach here. They've been down here for the last couple of hours, haven't caught a thing, so that's okay. We'll see how we get on. I've just been casting back into the shallows here in the snags and the trees. Oh, we got a little trevally. That's more like it. Where's a brim? No brim. Happy days. Good morning, little fella. Oh, this reel's got to go. Hang about, mate. Hang about. There we go. There we have a little broom. He's well and truly undersized, unfortunately. Let's see if I can get that out of him. Well and truly hooked up. Come on, little fella. So I'll show you guys what I've got set up on the side here. I'm not sure if you can see the letters or not, but essentially we've got a starting mark there, whiting and brim, trevally, and flathead down here. So we'll chuck him on the measurement here, and we'll get an idea. So as you can see, whiting and brim, he's actually just on long enough. So we might keep him, he'll do for breakfast. We'll get him dispatched, and we'll take him back and eat him up. He should be nice for breakfast. Happy days. Question is now, do we catch another one for dinner and lunch? Let's see how we get on. Unfortunately the water's fairly murky. The rain's obviously stirred it all up overnight, and the wind. So it's not very clear at all. In about 1.5 feet of water here, about 400 mil. Really should be able to see the bottom clear as a bell, but I can only just see it, so not good, not the best conditions for fishing, that's for sure. But anyway, just going to sit here and watch these guys come in. They've a couple of blokes in the boat here have caught a shovel-nosed shark, and they're dragging him back to the bank here under the sand to get the lure back out of him. They don't want to leave a lure in his mouth, which is excellent. So they're going to drag him up on the sand, pull the lure out and let him go again. But they've got a little electric motor on this hand-built boat, and now they're using a bit of oil power, which is awesome. Very, very good. Really, really clever. And great at looking after nature. So the boys have brought the shovel-nosed shark up onto the beach here. Just going to get down close and have a look at him. Yeah, he's very tired. Also, he needs to get that lure out of his mouth. So we've got the line here. I'm just going to drag him up the beach here a little bit. Oh, he's foul caught too. Come on, mate. Come on. Come on, buddy. All right.
I don't know how long he is. I'll get the pliers and get the lure out.
Here you go.
Yep.
Here you go. Here you go.
Oh, he's got pliers.
Oh.
Got pliers there. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. He's trying to head back to the water again.
He's still got it, hasn't he?
Bit of wrestling going on here. I see that lure's just got him at the front.
Stay still.
There we
Oh, it was
go.
hardly in at all. Thanks.
Pleasure.
Nice job. Look at that.
First ever.
That's a serious size little shovel nose shark, guys.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
Picture.
Alright, we'll head back up into this wind. Guess we've got some sunshine back now. Re-rigged the lure with another little double clutch I've got. It's a darker green colour and silver on the bottom, so hopefully that'll replicate some bait fish. Just head up this way and then just drift back along with the wind and see how we go. Well, the good news is we have a flathead. Big guy. Come on. Let's get ourselves organised here a bit. Come on. Oh yeah, he's a good size. Come on. Where are you taking me? Oh, it's a monster. This is a serious flathead, guys. Very big. Make lots of room here. It's going to take a while to get this guy in. Come on. Whoa. It's going to drag me halfway across the bay. Come on. Ooh, yeah. Look at the size of this guy. He is off. Causing all sorts of havoc. Get rid of the net. Because I know this guy is size. For sure. Most definitely size. Oh, there he is. Absolute monster of a fish. He is a beauty. That is well and truly size. Getting back down and measuring so you guys can have a feel for that. Alright, so there's our measuring part. So if we get him lined up, I'll be very careful here. Okay, this slimy bugger. So, that is our mark just here. I'll get around the other side of the sun. That's better. Okay, so that's our mark here, the flathead. He's not going to stay there, is he? Getting back up here. Alright. So there's our mark for flathead. And down to here. He is well and truly sized, guys. So he is coming back for dinner. Absolute cracker of a fish. Very, very happy with that. So there he is. Absolute beauty. That is without a doubt the biggest flathead I've ever caught in my life. He is an absolute beauty. So we are going to get this guy dispatched and fillet it up for dinner. Happy bloody days. Didn't look to catch a flathead here, so very, very happy with that. Well, the biggest problem we're going to have here is he's too big for my chopping board. Nice problem to have. We're getting filleted up. Plan with this guy is to do a yellow Thai curry tonight, so that's better. Alright, we'll get rid of this carcass. Alright, chuck that on the plate so it don't disappear. That is a perfect size feed for me, I gotta tell you. Absolutely gorgeous. Happy with that. Well, we'll just add some salt and pepper. Nothing like catching your own food. Absolutely delicious. Best lunch I've had in years. Cheers, guys. Not a bad way to spend a Saturday at Easter, that's for sure. Normally this time of the afternoon, around 3 and 4, I'd be out scouting around in the canoe. Flicking a lure around, looking for structure, trying to catch some dinner. But unfortunately the tide is right out in this very shallow bay, so instead we'll do what we did yesterday and we'll go for a walk. This side will go a bit more easterly rather than westerly though. So we'll actually go back towards the ocean and see if we can't find ourselves a deeper channel going through the area. I had a look on Gaia and its satellite imaging, and even Google Earth and its satellite imaging, and it shows it's actually going out a lot deeper than what it is. So I'm not sure whether that's because of the summer storms that's just changed the structure of this area or what the problem is. But certainly it's a lot shallower than it shows on the mapping. So anyway, we'll head back out to where the tide is and see if we can find ourselves a channel for tomorrow morning. Well, so much for that idea. Just after I turned the camera off, I felt a couple of drops of water on the back of my neck here. I thought, that's interesting. Turned around, and there's lovely big storm clouds and rain clouds coming over, isn't there? Coming straight towards the campsite. So just wandered back, packed everything into the tent here, including a beer and some cheese and some chips and so forth. So I'll be in here, watch a movie for a while in the rain, and hopefully it'll dry out before dinner time and we can cook that fish up. So I'm really looking forward to that curry. I must admit that flathead will be absolutely delicious, but if not, I'll probably just put the flap up on the tent here and we'll cook under there and dig down a hole and so forth to put the stove in nice and low, and yeah, try and cook it under here because there's no way I'm missing out on that flathead. That was just too good to be true. So anyway, let's just chill in here for a while and see how we get on. Alright, well, we'll start with a bit of jasmine rice. Get that cooked up first of all. This is just a microwave one, so it's pretty easy. Only really need about half of this packet, to be honest. We'll get that cooked first, let that rest, and then we'll get on to making the flathead curry, which should be beautiful. Okay, so we'll let the rice just warm up there. So a little bit of oil. And to that we'll add this Thai curry paste. Absolutely delicious stuff. Now last time I made this I didn't put enough in, so we'll get it right in amongst it this time. Now the deal is we're going to make this aromatic, just heating it up, warming it through for about a minute, and then we'll add the fish. Alright, take our flathead in. The idea then is to just coat this in the curry paste. Now last time I used coconut milk and it was a little bit runny, so I've used coconut cream this time. Get it open. Sorry, the mosquitoes hounding me at the same time. Alright. Now the final ingredient is fish sauce and brown sugar. Okay, so we'll just reheat the rice a little bit. That will do it. All right, let's see what this tastes like. That is like almost restaurant quality minus the condiments and so forth. These things like coriander, green beans, all that normal business, but other than that, just beautiful. Well worth the effort. I'm going to grab another beer out, enjoy this, and I'll come back to you guys later. Well, I have to say that was absolutely sensational. Definitely going to bring some vegetables next time, some green beans, capsicum, peppers, whatever you want to call them, that type of thing next time as well. Just add a bit of crunch to it, but the flavours, just sensational. Made it with prawns when I was on the Noosa River, back towards the start of this year, late last year. That was nice, but the flathead, next level. Just unbelievably good with that yellow Thai curry. Very, very good. Highly encourage you guys to try that if you're ever out camping again. Pretty easy setup. Just a little jar with you, a little bit of coconut milk or coconut cream as I used tonight, bit of fish sauce and brown sugar. That's all in the back of the jar. The recipe's all there. Really, really easy, but oh my God, the flavour, fantastic. Got talking to a couple of boys here before dinner. Local guy Jacko and his mate Ben. And Ben's a bit of a forager, so he was down catching shellfish and all sorts of stuff to eat and take home to eat. But just as the tide started to turn, he walked out to the edge of the water, cast out and pulled in a garfish. It had to be the biggest garfish I've ever seen in my life. Absolutely huge. So of course he gave that to Jacko and said, hey, I'll go get another couple more. And Jacko apparently has got a heap of spuds, so they're going to make up a big heap of fish and chips. I'm not sure if you've ever eaten garfish. It's really lovely eating. Very delicate flavour, a little bit like whiting. Really nice eating. So anyway, those boys are having a feast tonight as well, which is good to see. Jacko was good enough to offer me a shower for the night if I ever wanted one. He said, if you're coming back here again, knock on the door. Always happy to give you a shower. Absolute gentleman. Gotta love that. And anyway, weather-wise, we're looking good. We've got a clear sky again. I can see a few stars poking out, which is nice. I got the fire going now just to keep the midges at bay. I was getting absolutely hammered as I was cooking dinner and filming for you guys. But that's all good now. We've got a little bit of smoke just wafting over us, and that's got rid of all of them, which is brilliant. So I'm going to sit here and finish this beer, and in about half an hour or so, make a cup of tea, another chocolate bar, and head off to bed and call it a night. So I will chat to all you folk in the morning. Cheers, guys. Well, that was a nice late one out of camp this morning. Had to wait for the tide to come in, but that was all right. Able to have a nice quiet coffee and just potter around the campsite, packing it all up, cleaning the ground up so it looked like no one was there. Great to catch some fish, I must admit. It's always a highlight of a trip like this if you can catch and eat your own food. No doubt about that. Going to have to upgrade this reel of mine. The Angel Reverse now just doesn't work at all. And you would have heard it flapping and banging, carrying on while I was catching that flathead. Very interested in your thoughts on this, guys. What do you use for light tackle, light spin gear? Looking at 6-pound fluorocarbon, probably a 2500 size reel and a light rod, but always interested in everyone's feedback on that, what they prefer to use, that type of stuff, so we can share it with the community. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up for this week. Thank you for coming along for this great adventure. Another wonderful location. I look forward to catching up with all of you in a couple of weeks' time. Bye for now.